Hello there. Welcome to my discussion. We need to have a discussion on suicide. So welcome on board. Welcome on board. I'll be waiting for people to join before I start. Kibet, I can see you there. Long time. How are you? So guys, welcome on board. On today's topic or discussion, we are going to look at suicide. Yeah. So welcome on board. I'll be waiting for people to join, and then we can be able to kick on with the discussion. So welcome on board. I'll be waiting for guys to join, and then Moniris, I can see you there. Thank you for joining, and Julius Kathito, I can see you there. Thank you for joining, my brother Julius. Long time. I'll be waiting for a quorum before I start the discussion. But for today's discussion, we are going to discuss issues to do with suicide, and looking at what are some of the factors that push people to commit suicide or wanting to take their life away. So welcome on board. And for those who have joined, thank you so much for joining. So I'm still buying time to get a quorum, then we can kick on with our discussion. So welcome on board, guys, and thank you for joining. I'm buying time to get a quorum, and then I can start with the discussion. So be patient. Don't go anywhere. Hold on there. Suicide has been an issue, and it's the high time we start opening conversations about it. So I'm still waiting to have some quorum, then I can start off the discussion. So guys, welcome on board. We talk about suicide. I'm still waiting for, I can see people are still joining. So welcome. Tag your friends, tag your networks, share this video with others, so that people can come on board and we discuss about that. Makamram, thank you for joining and most welcomed. My page is called The Unspoken. And I normally bring discussions on mental health and also sexuality, that part of sexual intercourse among adults, that is couples, because sometimes we suffer in our sexual lives, but some people have been cultured that that's a no-go zone, that's a sacred area, that people don't need to go there, people don't need to talk about it, and people suffer in silence. The same as mental health. Mental health has a lot of stigma and also lack of knowledge. I can see you there, Kanyara Jerry, ukiwa Nakuru, Patrick Michael Ghetto, Nakuru. Thank you so much for joining, and today's discussion is about suicide and looking at the factors that can push people to take away their life or to want to end their lives. Welcome on board. Buying time to get some quorum, and then we can kick on with the discussion. So as I was saying that mental health has a lot of stigma and also a gap in knowledge. Thank you I can see you there, Michael Lageto, saying that we are patient. Okay. We have also a knowledge gap when it comes to mental health issues, and when we have a knowledge gap, it hinders seeking for help. Uncertainties on somebody is not aware whether they are supposed to seek for help, and if they were to seek for help, where do they get the help because of that knowledge gap? So it is a high time we start talking about these issues, do sensitization, create awareness so that people are able to come out and seek for help, and also people to know that I'm not alone in this. There are people who can support me and walk through with me through this journey, either journey of sickness, if it's a mental illness, or journey of going through some pain, some traumatic events, so that people can come out and be supported and get the right support and the right treatment that they want, that they are expected to. Michael Ngeto, I can say hata mambo ya suicide yamesumbua siku hizi kabisa. Fundisha kabisa daktari. Na hiyo daktari umejaribu kuiandika Kikamba lakini imekulemea hata hivyo, Patrick my dear. Thank you so much for your thank you for your contribution. You are saying that students, policemen, parents, etc. That is true. We have seen very young people committing suicide or attempting suicide. We have seen adults attempting suicide. And winning Lillian Kaesa, my sister, thank you so much. I can see you there. Thank you for joining. And Lillian, today discussion is about factors that push somebody to end their lives, and we'll be going through why people attempt or even end their lives, that is suicide, and what are some of the measures that can be taken, and how can you be able to help and support such a person. And if you are that person who is feeling overwhelmed and feeling that there's no other way other than suicide, this show will be very important. You can pick 1, 2, 3 things here and there, and you can be able to seek help. So guys, welcome on board. Patrick Michael Getro, you are saying Apo Muranga Standard 6 people committed suicide. That is true. We are seeing very young children committing suicide, and sometimes you listen to people in the community talk, and they can't get it. They are like, sasa huyu alikuwa anajiua kwa nini? He or she doesn't pay rent, she or he doesn't take financial responsibility. Why kill themselves? But there's a lot when it comes to suicide than just what people think, that somebody must be in deep thoughts. There's a lot when it comes to suicide, and together, that is what I would wish this afternoon. I'll call it afternoon for those who are in Kenya, to go through it. For those who are abroad, I don't know what time is there, depending on which area you are. But join me together. We push this discussion because it's very critical. It is very important. We'll also be looking at the survivors, those families from where somebody has committed suicide, and most probably it was a completed suicide. A completed suicide is whereby that person goes ahead with it, commits suicide, and they are dead. Where does that leave the significant others of that person? Where does that leave the family? Does it have some significant impact on the family? So these are some of the things that we'll be going through. Simon Chalo, thank you so much for joining. Patrick Ogeto, I can say you are saying religion and sectarianism is also another factor radicalizing young men. You become suicide bombers, like the case of Dusit Hotel. I agree with you, and we'll be going through all this this segment you are bringing out, and they are quite good points there. So guys, welcome on board. I want to kick on with now to start off the discussion, and this is a free free show. Feel free to come on board and contribute to this topic. If you feel you have something that you need to share, something that you need us to know, just hit the request button, and then you can come on board and we talk about this. Raymond Kipkemoi Koech, I can see you there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those guys who are joining, and welcome on board. I'll start by saying that my name is Emily Modeu. I'm a clinical psychologist. And I always say that I have a lot of passion in mental health and sexuality. Previously, I've done like 3 shows on sexuality, and I decided today to do a show on mental health, and talk about suicide. So looking at the factors that push people to feel like they need to end their lives, or attempt even to end their lives. So today, let's talk about suicide. I know it comes with a lot of taboos, that we don't need to talk about it loudly, but yes, we are here, we are going to talk about it, because it's the high time we create awareness and we sensitize the community on some of these issues. Patrick Ogeto, I can say, let me share this as a watch party to my FB family. Kindly do. We must learn together. Thank you so much, Patrick. And I'm saying, for those people who are on board, kindly share it widely, share it to your friends, share it to your family members, share it to the groups where you belong, share it to your networks. We need both this information. I'm here also to learn from you guys. So welcome on board. Bring all the knowledge you have. Ask any question, say anything, share an experience that you have ever witnessed or gone through, or seen somebody go through. Sorry for that. I call. Welcome. So Kanyara Njeri, Patrick Ogeto, and 7. Welcome. I can see people have started sharing it. So welcome on board. So as I've said, okay. Kindly share it widely. Share it widely with your networks, and let people join, and we discuss this. So welcome on board. I would wish if people could join, even come on board for discussion, because people have wide knowledge, wide experience when it comes to issues to do with suicide, and it is good that information that you have, that knowledge that you have, to come on board and also share with other people. At church, I can see you there. Thank you so much, my dear, and thank you for joining. So as I said, I'm Emily Modeu, and I'm a clinical psychologist. I have a lot of passion when it comes to mental health and also sexuality. Today I chose to do something on mental health, and our discussion today is, we are looking at suicide. And the question I posed earlier was, what are some of the factors that you know that can push somebody to want to end their life? Has it ever happened to someone you love, to someone close to you? Have you ever had suicidal thoughts, you yourself? Have you ever had suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideation, or even attempted suicide? And when suicide happens, when do you think that leaves the family of that person? So welcome on board. And these are, you find that we have myths and misconceptions when it comes to suicide, and sometimes because of these myths and the misconception, you find somebody who is crying for help. We can't pick that this person is crying for help because of these myths or misconception, and an opportunity to help this person is missed, and we end up losing this person. So there are quite a number of these misconceptions about suicide, And one, there's a myth that goes like, you're not supposed to talk to somebody about suicide because you may be putting some ideas in their head, in their mind. And I can see George Joroge, I can see you there. Engineer Noah Keboy, I can see you there. Thank you for joining. This is not true because sometimes it's good to talk about it. When you ask somebody whether you can hear how somebody is talking, and when you ask them whether they are thinking of taking away their life, you are opening or you're providing a door for them to open up. And now when they decide to talk about it, when they talk about their ideation of committing suicide, their thoughts of committing suicide, you are giving them an opportunity to express to you their deeper feelings, that is emotional feelings. Why are they acting? And now once that door opens, it's easier to be able now to support such a person, rather than when you keep quiet. You are scared that if I talk to this person about suicide, I'm the one who's putting ideas in their head. But that is not true. Actually, to them, it may even be a relief to see that somebody understands them and somebody is ready to listen to them. So sometimes when you suspect it, go ahead and ask that person, but also get the language of asking that person if they are planning or they have those thoughts of taking their life. Then again, there's also this myth or misconception that people who talk about suicide won't really do it. And people keep on saying, huyo tumemzoea. Believe you me, that person will commit suicide. From my school of thought, we normally say that never, ever take any suicide threat for granted. Never. Then again, it is always a warning sign. When somebody keeps on saying, one day I'll kill myself and I leave you guys to enjoy your lives without me, or somebody says, I think I'm a burden, it is the high time I'm out of this world, you'll bury me and you have your lives. And you say, this guy will never commit suicide, this girl, this lady, and you are like, we are used to that. Believe you me, that's a warning sign. And one day they'll complete that. They'll commit suicide. So never take for granted any suicidal thought. And you know, sometimes somebody says they want to kill themselves, and you are like, do I buy you rat and rat? Do I get you a rope? That's a very bad joke. Because if tomorrow you wake up and they are no more, they went ahead and committed suicide. Actually, you had an opportunity to save that life, but you didn't. I've seen on social media, somebody just posts in their, probably in their wall, that they are acting and they feel like committing suicide, and people bash them, people call them names, people tell them, go and die alone. Wow. You know, one, you are just validating and telling them it is good to kill yourself, and they'll go ahead and commit suicide. So sometimes we also need to be very sensitive on what we tell people. And if somebody has posted that on their wall and you have nothing to tell them, leave them alone. You rather not type anything there rather than bashing them. And why are you bashing them? Leave them alone. If you have nothing good to tell them, if there's nothing that is positive you can support them with, kindly leave them alone. I've seen people being bashed on their walls, and I'm like, oh my God. Then again, such a person who expresses that they would wish to commit suicide, they would wish to take their life, they are at a great risk of committing suicide. That person is just crying for help. And sometimes we just say that they are just attention seekers. Not really. What they are seeking for and what they are crying for is help. But what do? We give them a cold shoulder. If I was close to that person, I keep off from them. I'm like, hey, If he or she goes ahead and kills themselves, I don't want to be involved. And then you keep off. You're not helping. You are not really helping. If it's a sibling, a relative, somebody close to us, we start scolding them. We start preaching to them. We start condemning them. We start judging them and showing them how they have a better life, and they just want to waste it. At that time, all that you are saying, all that scolding, doesn't make any sense to them. And if completely you don't know what to tell somebody who is suicidal, refer them for help. Just get them somebody who can help them. Wilfred Somoni, I can see you there, and thank you for joining. Then another misconception, people say that if someone wants to kill himself or herself, nothing can be done to help. That's not true. A lot can be done, and that person can be can be saved, because most people who attempt suicide, it's not that they want to die. Not There's nobody who commits suicide want to die. And now somebody is asking me, so if they don't want to die, what do they want? They don't want to die. At that time, they are so much overwhelmed with pain or whatever they are going through, and they want the pain to end. They want just to stop that pain. To them, they feel like this is too much. To them, it's not that they want to die. They just want to stop the pain, but they don't know how, apart from taking their life. Marion Kingori, I can see you there. Thank you for joining. So it's not about that they want to die. Somebody committing suicide, somebody planning, somebody with ideations with suicidal ideation. It's not that they want to die. They want the suffering to stop. They want to end their pain. At that time, they can't think straight, and they don't know anything else that they can do to end this suffering apart from ending their life. So their end goal is not for them to die, but to end the pain they are going through. And such a people, they need professional help. They need treatment. Sometimes not just talk therapy, not just counseling. They also need medication. Is Royal Simon, I can see you there. Thank you for joining. So such people would want and require treatment. Treatment may be either psychotropics, that is medication, or even maybe talk therapy. Sometimes a combination of the two works well for people who are suicidal. And another myth is that suicide only affects those people who have mental health disorders, and it is not true. There are people with mental health disorders have never attempted suicide. They have never thought of killing themselves. Sometimes suicide can also be as a result of relationship problems. Like somebody has been rejected, somebody has been dumped, life stressors. We have quite a number of financial crises. We have criminal or legal matters. Someone may have done a crime, and they are like they can't stand the court proceedings and what have you, the police after them, and they decide, instead of being arrested, let me end my life. Then a death of a loved one, there are people who got down because of a death of a loved one, because of the affection and how close they were to this person, and they feel, let me also die, and they follow them. Not because they want to die, but at that time they don't see how to cope without this person who they have lost. Sometimes devastating illnesses. Somebody will go and be diagnosed with some kind of illness, either terminal illness, and they are like, we have seen people who have attempted suicide because they have been diagnosed to be HIV positive, and they're like, they can't take this. Then issues to do with eviction or loss of home, that can lead to suicide. Trauma, sexual abuse. Somebody has been sexually abused and they are like, I can't live with this. They can't know. At that point, they don't know how to deal with that pain they are going through. So to them, it's like, instead of facing all this pain I'm feeling inside, let me just end my life. Their goal is to end the pain. Then I had mentioned something to do with rejection. Quite a number of people, they do not know how to deal with the rejection. We have seen people killing because of rejection. They don't know how to handle rejection. And if not kill the other person, then they commit, because I'm like, I can't live without you. What are you trying to tell me, that I'm not worthy to be with you? And once they feel they are not worthy, they end their lives, not because they want to die, but they don't know how to deal with the rejection. Another myth is like people who commit suicide are selfish and want to take the easy way. And no, they are not. They are not selfish. Actually, they need your help. It's only that sometimes we don't get the signs, the warning signs. They are all over. And the suicide will never happen abruptly. This person will always leave warning signs here and there. And because sometimes, because of the what I said earlier of knowledge gap, we are not able to connect this. Sometimes they talk about it, but we can't connect. They are talking about ending their lives. Sometimes they behave in a way, but we are not able to know this, what the behavior they are presenting with is communicating somebody who is almost dying, almost taking away their life. Sometimes we miss that. So, but suicide will never happen just from nowhere. All of a sudden, they always leave signs behind, and later is when people start thinking about it, and they are like, and this person did this person had said this, because we are not able to pick their communication, whether by words verbally or non-verbally. So as I'll repeat and say that these people, not that they want to die, or what they want is to end their suffering. That pain they are going through is what they want to end. Those are some of the myths that we have towards people who want to commit suicide. And suicide is seen as a way out of a problem or a crisis. And a crisis or a problem that is really causing intense suffering. And when somebody is suicidal, what they are demonstrating, there are three things that they are demonstrating. Somebody who is suicidal, the first thing they demonstrate is that the pain caused by the suffering is unbearable. The pain to them is unbearable. They can't bear it anymore. And second thing that they demonstrate when somebody is suicidal is that they do not have adequate skills to cope with their situation. Yes, it is unbearable, but they do not have adequate skills now to cope with this unbearable pain. And that is why now they end to suicide, because now with the lack of coping skills, to them ending their life is equal to ending the suffering. So their end result, their main goal is not for them to die, but to end the pain. Then the third thing that they demonstrate is that they do not see an end to their situation. When they look left, right, center, they don't see the end of this suffering. It is unbearable. Now they have lacked coping skills, and they are not seeing the end of this suffering. So to them, suicide ends the suffering, not ending their life, but ends the suffering. And that is the thinking of people who are suicidal. I don't know whether you have ever gone through a situation whereby by the end of it you felt you are not worthy, and this life is not worthy. You felt like calling it quits and ending your life. I don't know whether you have experienced it through somebody close to you. Somebody close to you who had attempted suicide, or somebody close to you who completed suicide. When you're looking at suicide, we are looking at the thoughts, the ideation. We also want to know, does this person already have a plan of how they want to end their life? Somebody will say, I will shoot myself, I'll jump through a certain building, and you'll find some have gone to an extent, they have even identified that particular building where they want to go and jump. I want to go and jump a bridge. I want to maybe to throw myself on the road and be hit by a car or a train. Others, they want through taking a poisonous substance. They have researched identified the subject, the poisonous substance. Some have even gone ahead and bought it. Some, they want to hang themselves. They have bought the rope or the kind of wire, whatever they want to use to hang themselves with. Already they have purchased it. So apart from ideation, we also look into plans. This person says they want to commit suicide. Do they have a plan of how they want to die? And then now the others are already at that level now of doing it. You get somebody when they are, maybe they have already taken the poison. So we need to look at what stage are they. Yes, they want to commit suicide. What stage are they? Is it just a thought? Do they have a plan? Or are they already at the final stage now of the implementing their plan? So that needs to be looked at. So if I was at the ideation stage and I feel like one day I'll commit suicide, or let me die, and then you go and buy me a rope. You know, you have helped me to get to the next level, to my next stage. You give me a gun. You know, you have helped me. Actually, you are encouraging me. You are understanding what I'm thinking, and you're telling, yes, you can go ahead with. So sometimes we think by confronting and telling somebody, here is a poison, here is a rope, here is a gun, go ahead. There is the branch, go and jump. We think like we are helping. You are just validating that my problem can only end through suicide. If I was at the ideation stage, actually you have helped me to jump very fast to the third stage of a plan. Now you are providing for me the means to end my life. Sometimes we say that suicide is demonic. It isn't. It isn't. There is a reason behind suicide. I've seen parents where their children have expressed that they want to die and they want to commit suicide. What they do, they get the child, take that child to a pastor, which is okay for prayers. But remember, this child or this person needs professional help. They need medical attention. They need psychological help. And then again, by that, I'll also be asking, so what are the factors? What are some of the issues or some things that we can look out for which are risk factors for suicide? As I discuss this, I'm a clinical psychologist. I don't know everything. Everybody has their own experience. So I'd be calling upon for people who feel they have something to share about this topic, some experience, some knowledge they have. Kindly come on board, send your request, come on board, and we learn together. I'm also here and I want to learn from you guys. So I'll also be waiting for guests to come on board, and also so that we can be able also to discuss this topic together. I know it is a sensitive discussion. There are some tribes or some cultural backgrounds whereby suicide is not talked about. Ephraim Kangau, thank you so much. I can see you there. There are some cultural backgrounds where suicide is not talked about. Suicide also comes with its own kind of stigma. Look back to where you come from. Look at some of the cultural beliefs about people who have committed suicide. Where are they buried? Where are they buried? How is their mass? Their burial mass. How is it done? It comes with a lot of stigma. So I'm asking, where does that leave the loved ones, the family of that person who has committed suicide? So we have a lot that we can talk about suicide. So I'm also waiting for people to come on board and we talk about it. We need to learn from each other so that out there you can reach out to somebody and help. And if you are in that situation whereby you are contemplating to end your life because of a situation that you are going through, because of something that somebody did to you, because of something that somebody said to you, because of something you did somewhere and you feel guilty and you feel ashamed of yourself, then kindly just watch this show as we continue deliberating, and you'll get help. You'll get hints here and there on how you can get help. But I want to say that you are not alone, and do not suffer alone in silence. Kindly reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. If you feel there's nobody that you can trust and you're in such a situation, just hit my inbox. Let's talk about it. So I'm still waiting for people to come on board. I keep on checking the request button to see if there's somebody I can invite. Then you come on board and we talk about this. For these people, for the people who have joined, my name is Emily. I'm Emily Mudeu. I'm a clinical psychologist. And today's discussion, we are looking into suicide. And I had asked earlier, what are some of the factors or reasons that you think can push somebody to that point of wanting to end their life? Has it ever happened to somebody close to you? Have you ever attempted suicide? You yourself? Come on board. Come on, guys. Today, I said let me not come and talk about sex so that people can be not shy and we talk. So I'm inviting anybody who feels there's something they want to say about suicide. That what you are holding back can help somebody else. Oh, so sometimes when we have a suicidal patient or client, we'll assess for risk factors and we'll also assess for protective factors. What are some of the risk factors? Are those factors which makes that person more vulnerable to committing suicide. Then protective factors are those factors that are positive and can support this person and get through the pain they are in or the situation they are in without committing suicide. And when it comes to suicide, I've said it's either that person is at the ideation stage, that is thoughts, or they are at the intent. Now already they have that intention now to commit suicide, or they are at the planning stage that they already have a plan in place on how they want to end their life, or now or they have gone to the means whereby, or if it is poison, they have bought it. If it's hanging, they have bought a rope, some kind of wire, or already they have acquired a gun. They have gone and gone through the town and identified which is the tallest building that if I jump, there's no chances of survival. If it is about drug dose, they have read well about what kind of a drug. When it is overdose, they'll just go straight. So we have 4 stages, and especially when it comes now to therapy, we really, when we get somebody with a suicidal client, we really look also what level or what stage of suicide are they in, because it informs us a lot. But now there are few things, there are some factors we call risk factors, which makes people more vulnerable now to executing it, to committing suicide. And one of the risk factor is the previous suicide attempts. The previous suicide attempts. This person expresses, all they say that they want to commit suicide. The first thing, have they ever attempted suicide before? Clamson Ontieki, I can see you there. Thank you so much, my friend, for joining. Has this person ever attempted suicide before? If they have ever attempted suicide before, it doesn't matter how long ago, the likelihood of them completing suicide is very high. than somebody who has never attempted suicide. And the studies have shown that for people who have attempted suicide before, their third attempt, they will complete that suicide. Their third attempt, they will complete it. So meaning they will die. So this is one of the risk factors that is assessed when somebody is suicidal. Have they ever attempted suicide before? The other thing is about the history of the family history of suicide. In their family, as anyone ever committed suicide, a complete suicide or a suicidal attempt, that makes that person vulnerable. And that is why I'm always asking, if somebody commits suicide, where do you think that leaves the family of that person? You know, here there's one like role modeling that when things get tougher, even so and so commits suicide, and it like becomes a norm to some of the family members. But again, we're also looking at it. Suicide can run in genes. Suicide can run in genes, and especially for identical twins. If one twin committed suicide, you have to be on the lookout of the other identical twin. They may follow that that suit. Also, when we are looking at the family history, is if somebody has ever committed suicide in that family, then there's a lot other things that need to be looked into about that family, and that is mental health issues, the history of mental health issues, family history of mental health issues. In that family, do we have somebody who suffers from depression, someone who is schizophrenic? That needs to be checked in that family, because now there are also mental health issues which are also genetic, that it runs in the family, and also the stigma and the trauma that the suicide of one person left in that family can also be a huge contributing factor. Toma Dado, I can see you there. Thank you so much for joining. Tabitha Wanza, thank you so much for joining, and welcome on board. And our discussion for today, we are looking at suicide. And I'm asking, what are some of the factors, some reasons that you think can push somebody towards committing suicide? Has it ever happened to you? Have you ever attempted suicide? Have you ever had those thoughts of you can end your life because of something you are going through, or something that you are already currently going through? Has somebody close to you ever attempted suicide or committed suicide? Is somebody close to you always telling you that they may end up killing themselves? I'm saying welcome on board. I'm still waiting for people to come on board and share their views on the same. So if someone in your family commits suicide, don't end it there. People in this family needs to be supported professionally to come out of it, how to deal with it. And sometimes it can remain there as an underlying issue that tomorrow somebody else from that family, if they face something so stressing, then it is easily for them to jump into suicide, because already somebody there demonstrated that when things are not working, when you feel you're so much overwhelmed, suicide can be a solution. And sometimes you'll find we had a family where a girl committed suicide because she was dumped by her boyfriend. So again, a sister in that family, and also a cousin from another family of the same blood, attempted suicide on a breakup of a relationship. So what I'm saying is, like, if in your family somebody committed suicide, check out how did everyone cope with it in that family. Can it pose as a vulnerability for future suicides in that family? And when it comes there, we need support. That family needs psychological support. Again, in this family, do we have somebody who has mental health issues like depression, things to do with schizophrenia, things to do with bipolar? If there is, this family needs support. This person are they on treatment? If not, you need to seek help for that person, and also you need to check out for the other family members, because some of these mental health issues, they run in the family. There is that genetical predisposition of some of these mental health issues. So if somebody in your family is diagnosed with depression, you also need to check out for the other members, because depression, it can be genetically predisposed. It can have genetical predisposition. So you also need to check out on the other members of the family. We need to stop demonizing mental health issues, because you'll find somebody is schizophrenic, and that person is being taken from one pastor to another, one traditional healer to another for exorcism. You can't do exorcism to schizophrenic. You can't. Did you go for exorcism when you had malaria? If you have an headache, do you go for exorcism? You go to look for painkillers. Malaria, I'll see you in the hospital being done BS. If it's typhoid, I'll see you there doing the lab tests and saying which are the best drugs for typhoid. The same as mental health issues. Exorcism would work. If they are sick, they are sick. It's a medical issue, it needs medical attention. I'm not saying people not to go for prayers, people not to go to church. Kindly do. But as you continue with prayers, let this person get the right support, and that is medical support. If you have injured your leg, you'll go to a doctor for tetanus injection. You'll go and say, I need some medication to cover me not to get some infection. And you don't go for exorcism because of that wound. Mental health issues. Kindly let's seek for professional and the right support. Then the other thing, a risk factor that increases a vulnerability to a suicidal person is what is their current mental health status. Are they suffering from depression? Or do they have, we have that cluster of mental health issues which have to do with mood, that is depression, bipolar. Is that person suffering from any of those? Then they need medication, because those symptoms need to be treated. If we have to deal with the suicide, depression comes with a lot of hopelessness, a lot of helplessness, and sometimes guilty feeling. And when somebody is at that point of having suicidal ideations, one thing you need to know, they have impaired thinking ability. They also have poor judgment, and at that point, scolding them would not help. Taking them for prayers may not help. Challenging them, judging them, at that point won't help, because this is somebody who is at that moment is not thinking straight as you are. Their thinking ability is impaired already. Their judgment is poor already, and their cognition is impaired. So you try to reason with them. Why do you want to commit suicide? You are being provided everything by your parent. Or is he the last man on this world? Is she the last woman? You can still get another beautiful woman. You can still get another stable man. That doesn't make sense to them, because at that point, their thoughts, their thinking ability, their cognition is already impaired. Their judgment is already poor. So whatever you are trying to reason with them, they may not reason with you. Not because they are stubborn, not because they don't want to, but at that moment, they need treatment. Suicidal cases at some point are hospitalized, sometimes even by force. There's that for you, daddy, somebody accepts to be hospitalized, but when it is severe, even if that person says, even if they say, I don't want to be hospitalized, on medical grounds, they can be hospitalized against their will, because this is a life that we need to save. So at that point, that person needs treatment, not exorcism. They need treatment. Then again, physical illness. This person who is suicidal, do they have some physical illnesses? Because sometimes people get, if somebody goes and is diagnosed with some terminal illnesses, then they may get scared. Then again, also we look at demographics, because funny thing enough that studies have proved is that men are more vulnerable to a complete suicide than women. And now the gist is here that women are the first one to express that they want to commit suicide. They are the first ones. Women are the first ones to attempt suicide, unlike men. But when it comes to dying, that's the completion of suicide, men, a good number of men will complete suicide more than women. I'll repeat that. I've said women will express the ideation, the thought of committing suicide more than men. Women will attempt suicide. Many of them will attempt suicide more than men will. But those who end up dying as a result of suicide, the number of men is high. And somebody asks why. One, women, we are always shouting, we always talk. If my husband slaps me today, within 1 hour, in my WhatsApp and Facebook, quite a number of my friends will know that Emily was slapped this morning. If I slap him, not even his mother will hear about it. So women, we talk about it. We talk so much. And you know, talking is one way of catharsis. It's a catharsis for what we are going through. But now, the biggest issue, what makes the huge difference of why men will die more than women as a result of suicide, Ben Ogeta, I can see you there, it is the means of committing suicide. That is where the big difference is. Men tend to use more lethal methods or means of completing suicide, unlike women. A woman would is suicidal, they want to commit suicide, they go and overdose Panadol. A man will take a gun and end it. A man will jump from a very tall building and end it. A man will close themselves inside a room where they know nobody will come there and hang themselves. So the means of committing suicide, men use more lethal means of committing suicide, and it brings the difference. So you'll find more men, quite a number of men, and high number of men will die as a result of suicide compared to women. But high number of women will communicate. They want to commit suicide. They'll even attempt. More women will attempt suicide. But now the means makes a difference. The means women use to commit suicide, some means they will be saved. But men, some of their means, you find they are lethal to a point that by the time you get that you want to save them, they are gone. Then again, when you look at age, when you look at there is a study, several studies have said that suicide is the second cause of death among adolescents, 10 to 24. But when you look at the general population, it's not as much as in adolescence. So also age matters. But now again, when it comes to older people, 60 years and above, they are easy to commit suicide than now 30s, 40s. So again, demographics also matters there. Losses and the lack of resources. Sometimes people lose things or people very close to them, and they're like, I can't take it anymore. People have been conned huge amounts of money. and you find that they attempt suicide. People lose their significant others, people very close to them, very dear to them, people meant the whole world to them. So that can also push somebody towards wanting to commit suicide. So guys, I'm still posing my question. Has it ever occurred to you or crossed your mind that you felt that you wanted to end your life? Or are you still going through that? Do you have somebody close to you who have recently have expressed that they feel suicide is the only way? Because such a person, whether it is you or it is your significant other, your friend, your colleague, they need immediate and urgent help. They need medical help. They need professional help. I've said when it comes to treatment, it can be either psychotropics way or therapy way, talk therapy way, but a combination works the best for people who are suicidal. So, and I'm also asking, has it ever happened to you, like somebody close to you, a relative, committed suicide? How as a family did you handle that? Do you feel like you have some knowledge that you want to share with the viewers, some experience that you feel somebody can learn from it? So feel free to come on board and discuss, share with us actually, and share with us. So I normally think the days I handle the deep stuff, the sensitive stuff about sex, people shy off from coming on board and talk about it. But I'm also surprised that also suicide, I know it is sensitive. Sometimes it's something that people will talk about it in low tones, and it comes with a lot of stigma. I was sharing with somebody, and that person was telling me from the faith that is affiliated to, if somebody commits suicide, then that person is not, no mass is done for them, no kind of prayers is done for them. That person is just, people bury that person so silently, and I'm like, wow, where does that leave that family? And I'm asking our cultural backgrounds, how is a burial ceremony conducted for a person who has committed suicide? Do you think the beliefs, the cultural beliefs that are associated with someone who has committed suicide, somebody who has died as a result of suicide, may have negative impact on the family of that person? And I would ask, do you think there? It said that suicide does not just happen. Sometimes there are warning signs, and that person will have communicated both verbally and non-verbally even before committing suicide. So I'm also asking, what are some of the signs, symptoms, or communications or behavior that you think can tell you that this person is suicidal? This person may be planning to end their lives. Just think about it. Do you think these people leave behind some behaviors or some kind of talk that we could have picked early enough? And I will say yes, suicide don't just happen from blues. They communicate. They behave in a way that if you are keen, you can be able to pick that this person is suicidal. One, these people have excessive sadness or moodiness. Sadness that is long lasting uh, can be a can be a symptom of depression, because in depression that person is nearly or always very sad. Or can be a major risk factor for suicide. Sadness, that person is always sad. Then sudden calmness, that person has been anxious, has been sad, has been so much stressed, has always been complaining, but all of a sudden that person is just calm. Like, this person is not the person who has been complaining, is not the person who has been whining, is not the person who has been always sad, always crying. Just from nowhere, a sudden calmness just strikes in. So these are, make sure that this is somebody who has already made decision to end his or her life, and they're in peace with that. They know by the end of the day, next week or a day to come, I'll be no more. I'll be nowhere to go through this mistreatment, to go through this kind of pain. And already they have peace. They have made peace within themselves, because already their decision is done, and they know tomorrow, a day to come, or even morning, I won't be there. So that peace strikes in, and now you find just a sudden calmness has just struck in. Another thing is withdraw. They just withdraw from other people. They want to be alone, and they start avoiding friends. They avoid social activities, and they are there. They may also show some signs of depression. They lose interest in anything that used to pleasure them, and anything they used to enjoy, they don't care about it anymore. They are withdrawn. That is a warning sign. Then again, there may be changes in personality and appearance, and they change their attitude. They may change the way they talk, the way they move, and they may suddenly become so much concerned about their personal appearance. And Miriam Mudoka, I can see you. I remember sometime somebody said, I didn't know this person wanted to commit suicide, but the last days is they started asking, how does my face look? And they were like, the way you see my face, if I was in a coffin, do you think my viewers will be seeing my face well? Will I be looking beautiful if I was in a coffin and the people are viewing my body? Hey, this person, what are you talking about? Why? And this person was like, if you want to put makeup, go and put makeup. You don't have to compare your beauty with you being in a casket. But this person was minding how they look, because they were preparing their appearance so that would be appealing to the viewers of her body. If people come viewing their body, they would see, she was beautiful. Oh, he was handsome. So these are and that's funny. You know, if somebody tells you that, you'll tell them you are crazy. But try to find out, where is that coming from? Where did that come from? Why compare how you look, your appearance, with people viewing your body, how they look at it? There's some talks, people talk, we find it crazy. We are like, what kind of a joke is that? But where is this coming from? Because there must be an underlying issue, because there's no way I can ask you, how do you see my face? Do I look well? How are my cheeks? And then all of a sudden I ask you, if I was in a casket and the people are feeling my body, do you think they'll see my face as beautiful? Where is that coming from? Why am I associating beauty with myself dead and the look I will have when people are viewing my body? That's a very deep message. And sometimes let's not just listen for and even wakati unapiga story, try to pick, where is this coming from? Why did you even jump? Why did you even think about people viewing your body? because that shows you that is their preoccupation. That is what they are preoccupied with, their dead body. And that should ring straight that this person is somebody preparing to die. Then the other thing is these people may develop a dangerous or self-harmful behavior. And sometimes it's reckless driving. They don't care anymore whether they die, because already they have made their decision they are going to die. So they'll drive anyhow. If they were to commit suicide on Tuesday and the accident happens today and they go, they will have gone hardly to them, the better. And sometimes it's also engaging in unsafe sexual behaviors. Somebody was very keen, was very reserved, and maybe with dignity, but all of a sudden it's like a sexual fleak. They are just having sex with anybody. They don't care whether they use protection. That is somebody who doesn't care anymore, because by the end of the day, they are going. So whether you infect them with HIV, whether you rape them, they are like, by the end of the day, I'll be normal. So they start this reckless behavior. Sometimes also increased use of drugs or alcohol. Somebody starts drinking so much, and you're asking why. To them, it doesn't matter anymore, because already they have lost hope, and to them, it's like, amejiachilia. They know soon I won't be here, so I can drink a whole crate of beer. Even if it kills me, it's okay. That will be a shortcut. So some of these things you need to question. Don't just take them at face value. Why did this person suddenly start behaving this way? Why is it that they don't care if something happened to them? Why is it that they don't care if they get killed? They don't care if, all that. Don't just pick it at face value. Sometimes there are things that we do at the face value, but there's an underlying issue informing why we said what we said, or why we behaved how we behaved. Once somebody you are close to starts exhibiting a behavior you feel it's risky, and from how you know them, that's not their character, don't just sit. Don't start backbiting them. Try to get to the root. Where is this coming from? Sometimes we run away from them because this one never used to drink, but these days he is drinking. She's drinking. She's even drinking till she removes all her clothes and she's naked. She's not shameful. Where is the drinking coming from? There is something attached to that. And as a friend or somebody, if you're close and you care about that person, help that person. If you don't know what to do, seek help. You'll have done something very great for that person. Then the other thing, as this person had some recent trauma or life crisis, because sometimes there are things we go through and they trigger. Like somebody may trigger the suicide attempt, like I said, a death of a loved one, and sometimes a death of a pet. There are people who have some attachment with their pets, that a death of a pet can make them commit suicide. And somebody will laugh and like, a pet? And then yes, there are people who have some kind of a very close attachment to a pet. Divorce or a breakup, I had talked about it. There are people who can't stand it. And again, what are they associating the divorce or the breakup to? Because there are people who live their lives for the society. There are people who live their lives for the church. So they have just been promoted to a very senior position in our church, and then their partner goes ahead and divorces them. You know very well they will lose that position in church. You know our churches, how they operate. They can't stand that. And probably somebody, they were fighting so much and they won, and they're like, yes, I told you, you can't beat me. The moment they are boasting, they are up there, they have gotten that position, poop, they are divorced. That can send them to commit suicide. What attachment do you have with your partner, with your relationship, with your marriage? If tomorrow you woke up and that marriage is not there, that relationship is not there, Do you think you can cope? I've handled clients whereby they come and say, without my partner, I'm no more. Why? Because sometimes following majorly our childhood experiences and upbringing, sometimes we let ourselves go. That once you get your partner, you forget about who you are and you become your partner. You do everything and anything to please your partner. You forget about yourself. So the day you will wake up and that partner steps aside or that partner dies, you killed yourself and you became your partner. And your partner is no more. The partner has dumped you, has divorced you, or the partner has died. So you died longer time ago. So you are not there. How are you going to make it without him, without her? So you look around yourself and you are like, I'd rather die, because you forgot long time about yourself. And I normally say, for a healthy relationship, maintain who you are, maintain yourself, compromise with your partner. You are two different people who have come together. So if you want like yourself, you need yourself to die and become your partner. Then if this relationship don't work, you won't survive, because you lost yourself long time ago. And sometimes when it comes to people who have gone through breakup and they are so down, what we try to help them is to search themselves and bring that person in you back, because there is a person, there is a human being in you. Your partner is one human being, you are another human being. So you are two human beings who are working things together, who are loving each other and doing things together. But there are people who lose themselves to their partners. So when the partner is not there, they are also not there. So I say the traumatic events and crisis, and also being diagnosed with major illnesses can also be traumatic. Loss of a job. There are people who are traumatized. And sometimes the world we are living, you can wake up one day and your boss tells you are fired, or you don't belong here anymore, from nowhere. That can be very shocking, because you have responsibilities. That can be really traumatizing, and the people have lost their jobs, and they have ended up in therapy rooms because they want to commit suicide. Financial problems, that totally you are down financially, you have people owing you, you have people chasing after you, you have their money and you have nothing you can give them. You have responsibilities, you have bills to pay. I've taken quite a number of people with such a situation because they have attempted suicide. Not just even the ideation, but even gone ahead and attempted suicide. Then again, there are people who start preparing early enough, but we don't pick. And how do they do their preparation? You'll find we have things that we really treasure, that even if somebody borrows them, we can't. It's like, this one I don't share with anybody. But you find that person is ready not even to share, but give it out. Just give it out. And you'll find a man who their car key is like, that's a no goes on. I'll pay a cab for you, but not my car. Wakes up one day and is just even giving out the keys like, you can keep that car. How come? How come? Ladies are very much attached to pets. A cat, a dog, that they treasure, and they're like, this is my dog, go and look for your own dog. It wakes up one day and is just giving it out. Not just lending, but giving it completely. The small things they add, they start giving them out. That is somebody who's preparing for their death. And mark you, this person is not sick, but they have started giving out their most valuable and important things that they couldn't have ever agreed to share them with. And they become so generous that they are giving them out. That one, you need to question it very, very much. And then again, they start cleaning up their rooms, their homes, and arranging them, and saying, in case I'm not there, hiki tumunaweza pata hapa. In case I'm not there, you can look for the, where will you be that you are giving now? You know, like when people are dying and they are doing their will, and they have been sick, they are doing their will. Suicidal people start doing such things, but silently, in a way that this person is preparing the somewhere they are going. So you need to ask yourself, where are they going? That they have started putting their things in order. So that is others will write a note before committing suicide. Now, those are the preparation that we are talking about. Others will go ahead and threaten you that they'll commit suicide. And sometimes they may not say it directly. Somebody will tell you, one day I'll die, I'll see who you'll be scolding. Or somebody will say, this life is not worth, and I'm not worthy. I'm fed up. I don't want to live anymore. Somebody will say, next month, I'll see who you will be asking for money from. They'll always give hints that tomorrow they won't be there. Ask them where they are going, because those are some of the warning signs these people leave behind. I can see Lopez from Cabernet there. Thank you so much for joining. And today we are looking at suicide. What are some of the things that push people to commit suicide, to end their lives? Then what can we do if somebody has this talk that I feel, or they have even told me on the face that I want to commit suicide, I'll commit suicide. I don't want to be anymore in this world. I'm fed up with this world. We need to keep very close watch on that person. That person should not be left alone. And then again, try to make that person talk about it. Don't judge them. Don't scold them. Don't try to tell them how much they are ungrateful because you have been able to provide them with everything, and now that is how they want to pay you. At that time, you are talking alone. We have seen that cognitively, they have that impairment in their thinking, their poor judgment. And if this person is suicidal because of depression or schizophrenia, you are talking alone. They can't reason with you. They are already sick in the mind. Let's look at schizophrenia. Schizophrenia, people have voices that tell them to commit suicide, and they convince them why they should commit suicide. So this person is living in another world, not a reality world like you. Yet you are here telling them how God loves them, telling them how you will buy them a car tomorrow, how you will get them that dress they loved so much. Tell those voices. This person is sick and they need medication. So sometimes it is beyond prayers. It is beyond exorcism. It is beyond your judgment. It's beyond your name calling. It is beyond blaming them. They are not there. They're in another world. You are in the reality world and behave like somebody who is in the reality world. Get them help. There's a point that you can't reason with them. If it is at that point, let them go for medication. They get the psychotropics. That will calm them down. Now they can come back to themselves and now talk therapy, and also professional talk therapy, professional counseling. And if you have a loved one who has issues, mind so much, where are you taking them to get counseling? Sometimes we take them to religious leaders. I agree, but there's what we call professional counseling. I'm not saying religious leaders cannot do counseling. They can. They read in the Bible, and the Bible is full of wisdom. But again, there is a line between that and the professional therapy. Because in professional therapy, there is screening and assessment where we need to know, is it depression? Is it schizophrenia? Is it bipolar? A religious leader would be able to do that, because by the end of the day, when I'm giving you a treatment plan, we know what are we dealing with here. Is it about complicated grief? Is it about PTSD? We need that professionally to be able to help this person. Then the other thing I've said, if this person find out whether it is an ideation, whether they already have a plan, and whether they have already purchased the means of committing suicide, then get rid of that means. If it was a gun, get it from me. If it was a rope, get it. If there was some poison they had bought, kindly get the means and keep them away from sharp objects, from anything that they could use to commit suicide. Then try to keep those people calm. Don't bother them with so many questions. Yani, unakuwa kama police, when your CID sasa, when your FBI, don't ask them so many questions. And again, if you are not sure what to say, there are things you can tell them and push them now to the suicide instead of helping them. Just get professional help for them. I'm towards finishing, and as I said, for people who want to commit suicide, the people who are suicidal, it's not that they want to die. What they want is to end the pain and end the suffering. But not to them, they are not seeing now I'm dying. To them, they are seeing the problem ending. And again, I've said these people need psychological help, they need professional help. So kindly let us try to seek for professional help. Tuache shortcuts. And even for the professional help, find out who is this expert who is handling your person. We also have quacks. We have people who are not qualified, and they won't help you. Never feel ashamed when you go to an expert and ask them what is their level of the training or where have they practiced before. It is your right, and you need to make sure you get the right services. And why I'm insisting, even if it's counseling, that is psychotherapy, make sure you go for professional help. Because as I've said, there are quite a number of things that need to be assessed or screened for a suicidal person. So, as you go for prayers, look for an expert. Because this assessment and this screening, they are kind of tests that needs to be done by a professional. And by the end of the day, you'll be able to know what is pushing your person, your close friend, your relative, your child, your husband, your wife to a suicide. It's not just a matter of just we sit family members and we have a few people here for prayers. We also have some senior wazes from in that family and talk to this person. You won't put sense to them. They are sick. That won't put the sense on them. They are sick. So kindly, as I said, when you have malaria, or when you have a wound, you go to the hospital for that wound to be cleaned. You go for a tetanus injection. You are like, I need some biotics to cover me not to get some infection. If you do all that and you don't take your wound for exorcism, even for mental health issues, take them for professional treatment, and that is what they want. And if you feel like you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, you don't know who to talk to, just go into my inbox. My account is Emily Modeu Gideon. It's my inbox. I'll guide you. If you feel you are at that level and you feel there's something you are going through and you are so much overwhelmed, you feel you are so down, and all you keep on thinking is if you ended your life, your suffering will end. Let me say that there's help, there's support. You are not alone. Just reach out for help. Hit my inbox. I'll support you. Allow me to stand with you and walk with you through this journey. I may not do it alone. I may need to consult and prefer you elsewhere. But allow me to support you. Don't allow yourself to die. Talk to somebody. Look around you. Just somebody reasonable. Somebody whom you can trust. Reach for help. Talk to somebody. And you, if you happen to be that person, that someone suicidal, someone who is overwhelmed by issues, will come and talk to you. Do the necessary. Stop arguing with them. Stop making them to see how ungrateful they are. Stop trying to show them that committing suicide is a sin. They are not at the level you are. You are okay. You are normal. They are not. You are in the reality world. They are not. Seek help for them. Don't keep it a secret. Even when it comes to psychotherapy. Zakaria Hayub Nyangwara, I'm seeing you there. When it comes even to psychotherapy, confidentiality has limitations. And one is when I feel that your life is in danger, or someone else's life is in danger. Confidentiality ends there, because I have to get help for you, or I have to save the other life. So even you as a friend, even you as a significant other, don't agree to be put into secrecy of suicide. You won't forgive yourself if that person committed suicide tomorrow. Seek help for them. Look for help, and help is there. And that is my discussion for today. I've really waited for people to come on board and talk. I've not seen any, but I believe even by watching, you have been able to get enlightened here and there. You have been able to get some information and know that suicide is an illness. An illness that needs both medical and psychological treatment. Let's stop exorcism, because that is very common. Let's stop taking suicidal people to traditional healers. You will go and that person will still commit suicide. Kindly look for help. Go to any nearest hospital. Look for professional psychologists and counselors. Look for psychiatric. And as I said here, nani alisema psychiatric anatibu mwenda wazimu? Because that is not the only work of a psychiatric. They do review and diagnosis on mental health issues like depression. Because sometimes you get somebody, you talk to them, and you look at the signs and the symptoms, and they are pointing that this person has severe depression, this person has severe anxiety, this person is psychosis, and you tell them, I would wish to refer you for a psychiatric review, and they just jump and they're like, kwani umeniona aje? What do you take me for, a lunatic? Have you seen, do I look like a mad person? And we miss it there. A psychiatric is not just about wenda wazimu. There's a lot that they do. So kindly let us seek help. And seeking help, it doesn't show us, it's not a sign of weakness. It isn't. Actually, it's a sign of strength. Try to get all the support you can for your loved one. Let us stop the silence on mental health. Together, we can be able to reduce stigma towards mental health, and we can help our loved ones. Let's seek for help. For any personal question, I'll say it my inbox. Emily Modeu Gideon. Let's talk. If you see your loved one, they no longer want to talk to other people, they don't want to associate with people, they are ever sad, and they start losing interest in whatever they took pleasure in. If they then you see their eating patterns change, like they eat too much than before, or they barely eat, they eat too little, they have no appetite, or their appetite just shoots. Then when it comes to sleep patterns, it's both. Either they don't sleep or they sleep much. Seek help for that person. If your loved one starts seeing things other people are not seeing, talking to people other people are not seeing, stop exorcism. That is hallucination. Hallucination can be either audio, it goes with the five senses of touches. It can be either somebody will tell you things, yani vitu inamtambaa mwili yote, and you look, there is nothing. Somebody will smell anything. Somebody will tell you this room is smelling blood, this tea is smelling, or it is tasting blood, and everybody is taking tea and they are okay, but it's only them. That is hallucination. They may hear voices. Don't run to traditional healers. Before going from one pastor to another, which is okay, seek for medical help. Others will see like they are Jesus. They say they are Jesus. They'll say God has talked to them. They'll see a poster on the road and they say, you see, this person is looking at me, smiling at me, is looking at me badly. You look, this is just a photo. Those are delusions. Take that person for some professional help. There's a lot in mental health that culturally, majorly in Africa, we associate it with cultural beliefs, with witchcraft, with evil spirits. And before we know, that person gets worse and worse. But this person could have been helped. If early enough, we could have known these symptoms and the signs of a mental health issue. I'll keep on bringing a few issues here and there on mental health issues so that we can be able to know what we think is out of norm, or it's demons, it's evil spirits, it's witchcraft. It's something that can be medically and psychologically be helped. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be hosting a show again, same day, that is Sunday from 4:30, that is Kenyan time. And next time, Sunday, I want to be looking at psychosomatic disorders, because this is also another issue that throws us off the line, because we are unable to explain when I'm sick and the doctor says I'm not sick. All the tests show I'm okay. So if it's not witchcraft, what is it? It's still a mental health issue. So thank you so much for joining me today. I feel honored. I feel appreciated. So bye for now. If you have an issue, remember to hit my inbox. Just text me. I'll get back to you. Thank you so much and be blessed.